VIA Visually Impaired Advancement is proud to highlight a few of our outstanding staff members by announcing our 2021-2022 Employee of the Year Awards. First, we'd like to honor the National Industries for the Blind, or NIB, Peter J. Salmon Employee of the Year Award nominees. This award highlights employees who excel in their positions at NIB-associated agencies. In 2021, VIA nominated Nicholas Halifka, INR Specialist 2.
So basically, I take calls from community members throughout the day, and people will call in with all sorts of help and human service type needs, and we try to point them in the right direction as far as resources in the community that might be able to meet their needs. I also get to help as a JAWS user with assistive tech, work through accessibility issues and just make everything run more smoothly for everyone. So I have Leber's and ocular albinism, had basically no vision since birth. I have light perception, and that's pretty much it. Pretty much wouldn't see it if you held your hand up in front of my face. I've had to learn how to navigate a sighted world without sight, basically. I think that being born without sight in some ways has been good for me, because I haven't had to go through the difficult process as some do of having to, relearn all sorts of things, how to do them and everything without sight. I'm an avid hiker. I love getting out and trekking up and down mountains and putting in 15-mile days. Pretty much my motto up to this point in life has been, if there's a will, there's a way. So I like to think that I'm pretty independent and, able to make do with what I've been given. And I consider myself fortunate to be as independent as I am. I feel really grateful and privileged, to be able to work here every day doing what I do. The ability to give back to the community that's really given so much to me over the years. I don't take it for granted that I have this kind of work. I think we've all realized during these difficult times here recently how many people are without work still. You add in visual impairment, and it just adds a whole extra layer to it. I don't come here every day seeking honor or praise or anything like that. It's an honor for me for sure. I've just always vowed from a young age to put my all into whatever I was doing, and that's kind of the attitude that I've always had. I feel proud that that's been honored, and really appreciate that you guys are willing to give me the nomination. I do want to thank VIA, all of you, for even making it possible for me to work here. I just come to work every day, give it my all, but I really appreciate that's recognized, and I'm very humble. Whatever you're passionate about in life, don't hold back. Go for it. I don't think you'll ever look back on your life and wish you'd taken an easier road. And then the other thing I would say is just cultivate a strong work ethic every day. I don't believe that I've been successful in life because I'm extraordinary or anything like that. I just work hard for what I have. Yeah, that would be the two things. Don't settle for the easy road, and just give it your all every day with a strong work ethic. And I believe that you can be successful and will be successful.
And our 2022 nomination recipient is Alexander Prine, Assistant Supervisor of the Buffalo VA Switchboard.
I'm mainly responsible for compiling the on-call schedules and managing the databases, as well as providing administrative support at the office. My diagnosis is Leber's hereditary optic neuropathy, and basically that affects the optic nerve that connects the eye to the brain. So I can no longer read, and if I want to navigate independently, I have to do that differently than I would have in the past. It was suggested to me by a mentor of mine that I look at then Olmsted Center for Sight for employment. So I began briefly as a quality assurance tester, and then got accepted for a part-time switchboard position, and then moved on to full-time. And it was actually interesting because I was receiving services early on through VIA, so I was essentially receiving services through coworkers. I think just recognition of work and dedication, as well as just the ability for blind people to succeed. The advice that I would give is that people who are visually impaired work hard, stay positive, and try to be as independent as possible, because there are opportunities personally and professionally, both in and outside of VIA, if you look for them.
VIA has also nominated staff for the NIB Milton J. Samuelson Career Achievement Award. The Milton J. Samuelson Career Achievement Award is presented annually by NIB to honor a person who is legally blind and employed in an indirect labor position. In 2022, VIA nominated Rosemary Niedermeyer, VA Supervisor of the Erie VA Switchboard.
My first priority is to liaise with the VA staff to make sure that I have up-to-date information on the programs that the VA is doing and how they wish their calls to be handled. I also we have a separate database of staff and departments. I keep those updated as needed, which could be daily, which sometimes could be weekly. I also make sure that I have our protocols and standard operating procedures up to date and formatted in a way that's accessible to all of our staff who are, some of them are visually impaired. Probably around 4 or 6 months old, I was diagnosed with bilateral retinoblastoma, which is cancer of the retina in both eyes. I was treated with radiation therapy for a few months until I was about 12 or 14. I had 20/20 vision, and at that point in time, I developed cataracts, which interfered with my vision somewhat. And within a few years, I was legally blind. And then in my early 30s, I started experiencing repeated retinal detachment, which led to decreased vision. Now I only have light perception. I had to leave the job I was at due to the vision loss, and I was out of work for a few years, and then I went back to school. And when I came back, tried to come back into the workforce, I had difficulty finding a position. Mm-hmm. And I did work with a vocational rehab counselor, and she had kept mentioning this job as a switchboard operator, which wasn't really on my list, but I eventually decided to go for it, and that's kind of how we got here. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Nobody gets where they are by themselves, and if you share knowledge, you strengthen your group. You strengthen the agency if it's the agency. I think it just makes the world a better place. I think probably one of the things I'm most proud of is my work ethic. So the fact that it's being recognized means a lot to me.
VIA would also like to highlight our New York State Preferred Source Program, or NYSPSP, Employee of the Year nominees. The New York State Preferred Source Employee of the Year program is intended to recognize and reward outstanding work by a person who is blind or visually impaired at an NYSPSP affiliated agency. In 2021, we nominated Barbara Elliott, Production Worker 2.
I do work on the glove line. I work with sleeves. I work with stamping. I work with putting things together, projects. I've done a lot over the years, quite a few other different things. I miss it right now, but I do enjoy my job. I love the hands-on work. I was born legally blind. I don't think it really impacted me because it really didn't faze me that I see things really well. I think it bothered more people than it bothered me. I always strive to do as much as possible, learn how to do it, learn the tricks of doing it differently. It never slowed me down. I originally went through the programs there when they had the apartment, and Linda Wietzig was working and Debbie was up there on the switchboard, and I went through that, and I ended up doing volunteer work, a heck of a lot of volunteer hours I put under my belt up there. I ended up working in guild care, teaching craft classes for quite a while, and then I moved on. I was doing some work in the manufacturing department, and then I finally moved completely over into the manufacturing department. It makes you feel good inside that you're being recognized for the hard work you do put in. Nothing can stop you, only yourself. You really need to have a positive attitude and strive on. You can't let anything pull you back, especially vision issues.
Thank you so much to each recipient for all your hard work as a VIA employee. Each individual was awarded because of their exemplary performance, their dedication to the agency, and their true willingness to go above and beyond every day. Thank you again to everyone.